Joining us on the Mercedes-Benz Vans phone line on the outset of a Cincinnati Bearcat football season is the head coach there, Luke Fickell, back here on the Rich Eisen Show. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing well, Rich. Thanks for having me.
You got it. What's going on in your world? I'll just open it up macro-wise. What's going on right now for you?
Well, it's what I call the calm before the storm.
Okay.
Right? We were back in for like 2 weeks with our guys, and then this week I kind of give the coaches off before we really get rolling on Monday. So we kind of report, and then our start day will be August 2nd, and so be crazy enough. The coaches are all gone, so the head coach, not as bright as the rest of them. He's in town all the time. And he's in the office. He's in the office way too much, and then all of a sudden my wife comes into me and says, "Hey, I got a flight for you and me. We're leaving Thursday as soon as you get done with media day, and we're not coming back till Saturday afternoon." I'm like, "Okay, I guess if I'm going to stay married and this thing's going to work, I better get on that flight and spend a day and a half with 2 days with my wife."
Where'd you go?
We are in Marco Island
right now. Like literally?
Right now.
You're calling? Oh, my God. I wanted you on the show. I wanted to talk to you, but, we could have waited till you were back off of it. Your wife wants your undivided attention. I'm barging in here.
This is the best that I could be. If I'm in Cincinnati and I'm in the office, I'm not nearly as relaxed. So I felt like, what? That'd be a heck of a lot better interview probably if I'm in Marco Island with a little relaxation. Well, my wife takes a 20-minute jog or walk away from me.
Well, here's what you need to do, Coach. You need to do what I'm doing, which is have your wife sit on your television and radio show like she's doing right now. Suze, you want to say hello to Coach Luke Fickell of Cincinnati football?
Hey, Coach, just make sure that her drink is filled at all times.
You know what? I'm learning that. It's been 20 years now. I've figured some of these things out. I know I've needed a lot of time to try to figure them out, but I think she's not going to be here to dispute it. I think I'm getting better at that.
We're all just trying to make you better. That's all, Coach.
Just carry her stuff.
Well, I appreciate that.
Carry her stuff. Walk 3 steps behind her at all times, and make sure that you take a lot of pictures of her, multiple different angles, so that she can improve.
Yes,
Rich is really good at that. Like, you
great.
need to become her official Instagram photographer.
Yes, that's what you got to do.
Because that's why you're there.
I'm going to take your advice. That's going to be the best thing. She's going to know something happened. She's like, what happened?
Aren't you so glad that you came on the show? What else can I help you with?
It goes back to you, like, somebody flipped something in your drink. This is not who I've been married to. I'll slowly kind of work those things in.
Luke Fickell of Cincinnati football here on the Rich Eisen Show. Fantastic. So when you get off of vacation, do you still have a quarterback battle going on? How are things sussing out for the next Desmond Ridder, if you will, Coach?
Yeah, I call it life without Desmond Ridder is now begun. So, you know what? It's exciting. It's interesting. We got a unique situation, and we've got a guy that obviously has been behind him for a couple years, in Evan Prater, and kind of the Cincinnati kid. In a lot of ways has done a great job the last 2 years. But there's another kid that was actually Des's backup for 3 years, who left last year. Went to Eastern Michigan, started and threw for 3,000 yards or something like that, and then came back. And I know it's crazy, this landscape of college football, but Ben Bryant and Evan Prater, really, they've got the respect of the entire team. And for the first time in a long time, we're going to go into camp with a legitimate, like, hey, this is going to be really interesting, and we got to figure some things out, but it's going to be a battle.
And then how do you adjudicate this battle? Do you talk to the? Honestly, as you said, it's been a bit. So, what are the telltale signs here?
Yeah, no, like we had the battle. I was hoping maybe something would, show itself in spring ball, because they both were in spring ball, and it didn't. I think both of them got better, but you know how that goes. A lot of it is how the team, how's the team form. And because they both can do everything, but they do have different skill sets. And I think Ben is more by nature a natural passer, where Evan, is by nature a natural athlete to start with, and both can do, what we do. But I think, there's some differences with that position of saying, okay, now what best fits the team as the team continues to become us.
Luke Fickell of Cincinnati Bearcats football, the head coach, joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. Your program kind of in the middle of a lot of chess pieces moving. At this point next year, when we talk, I'm going to say if, I said when we talk, and hopefully not while you're on vacation, that you're going to be a Big 12 coach, Coach Fickell. So how does that rearrange your recruiting? How did that maybe aid your recruiting? What is the future of Cincinnati now that you know you're in the Big 12 with all the moving pieces?
Yeah, that's a great question because we've addressed it with our staff, and I've thought it out. And for us, it doesn't change really. We're going to recruit the same areas. We're going to recruit the same kids. And some people would ask that, like, well, you're going to be more, in the middle West and maybe even down into Texas with some of the schools. Does that mean you're going to change and maybe recruit a little bit different? And no, we're going to stick in our 300-mile radius. We're going to still do the. I think 80% of our team, 81% of our team's from that 300-mile radius. We've always recruited those kids that maybe we didn't end up getting, whether for whatever reason, but we felt like those guys were what we were shooting for, and whether we, lost them to somebody in the Big 10 or somebody in the Big 12, we've always recruited that way. So I think that we'll in our minds stay the same way. We love the kind of kids that we got. We love the core and the crux of what our program is built around. I just think that what has happened last year, obviously with the success we've had on the football field, going into a new league, I kind of use the example that like the doors we used to have to kick down to get in to talk to them, they open them now. We still got to go in and seal the deal, and we'll have a few other bells and whistles to be able to do that with. But I don't think it changes how we go about our business.
Well, it also helps, though, to ensure you get a seat at a college football playoff table, even though you kind of kicked that door down yourself this past year, right? Wouldn't you agree with that?
No, it does. Those are all the kind of the stigmas that sometimes can hurt you in recruiting. The league and the non-power. I don't say those words, and I still will never say them even when we go to the Big 12. Those things are always some of that stuff that would be. Not negative recruiting, but the things that kind of get held over top of your head. And so we're kind of using that to say there's some of those things are going to be taken away. And I like to probably apply the pressure to us now. Like, okay, there's no excuses now, right? I mean, you're in battles in our own state head to head with Ohio State, and what's going to be the difference? And it's going to be about relationships. And you can't use the fact that they keep throwing the Big Ten and the AAC things at us, and that's the reason they make the choices. So. It's great. I think our kids will be. They're not talking about it now, but will be just so excited about some new venues and some different competition, I should say.
Do you think that we're heading towards 1-2 super leagues? Do you think we're headed towards that? I mean, I'm sitting here in Los Angeles, Big Ten country. You know what I'm saying? So it's now nationalized, at least in one conference. Do you think we're headed towards that?
Yeah, we're not staying in my opinion. We're not staying where we are. But then again, think about it. The evolution of the game of football it's not. Everybody says the game's changed. No, it's not. It's just evolving. The game's changing now that you got USC and UCLA. No, it's just evolving. Are there some things that are going to be taken away with rival? Yeah, but I think we're still going to evolve. I think the next 3 years is going to be really, really unique in some way, somehow. I think that there's going to be 2 or 3, groups or leagues or whatever it is that may be just a little bit different, whether they're, some way, somehow, not say on their own, but I think we're headed that direction. I just think that there's no way of stopping some of these things that are continuing to evolve.
What's your stance on name, image, and likeness needing some sort of, I guess, Big Ten Commissioner Kevin Warren and Greg Sankey of the SEC have been talking about federal legislation. What's your stance on NIL needing more guardrails to it, Coach?
I would agree 100%. I think we all thought when the thing opened up, when NIL opened up, that it was it was great. It was a great opportunity for all of our kids, and I still think it is. It's just I don't know that it's kind of being used in the way that which we all envisioned, where a guy like Desmond Ridder, who has incredible success on the football field as a leader of your team, he's able to do some ads and obviously endorse some things based on his the things that he's done, and I think it's gone another direction. So some way, somehow, whoever's going to come in, whether within the NCAA or whatever, is going to have to, I think, really kind of figure out what direction we want to go as a not just college football, but I think college athletics in general.
Have you gotten a player say, I'd love to come here, but you need to match another NIL deal from somewhere else? Has that happened to you, Coach?
You know what? I think we're a little bit still in the sweet spot. It's happened maybe a little bit. I think we've definitely in the last month lost a kid that was committed to us because he was told that, hey, you're gonna make $100,000 when you come by coming here, and we can do that because we're in the SEC, and this is what you're going to get. And to be honest with you, I think the issue we've got right now is what's real. If people are and have these deals for these kids, for the kid to actually see it in writing, I think we need to do, just so that you get them there, then they're disgruntled because they don't get what they're promised. So that's why I think that it's all good. I just think we got to find ways to make sure we're not teaching kids to say one thing, do another, and to make a decision, because money's going to help them make decision, but make a decision on the things that are real. And that's where I think the guardrails and all that we're doing for all of us, I think we just need to find a way to be able to do that.
Before I let you go on with the rest of your day on your little vacation time remaining, Luke Fickell, last we spoke was before the draft. You were telling us some terrific stories about getting to know Ahmad Sauce Gardner when he first arrived at your program. And if I'm not mistaken, you said you had told him you would not call him Sauce until he made it to the NFL. Have you called him Sauce now?
So I was fortunate enough to be at the draft night.
Yes.
And I was actually standing back there with those guys. So after he got drafted fourth by the Jets, he stands up, hugs his mom, hugs a couple other people, and then he walks over. He was going to walk out and obviously give him a hug. And I said, "Hey, congratulations, Sauce." And that was the first time that I had ever referred to him, maybe on a slip, but pretty much the first time I'd ever referred to him as Sauce. And it was a nice little moment, but it's great now for when guys come in with nicknames, and I can use that as the example.
Yes.
All you got to do is be the fourth player taken in the draft, and I'll call you whatever you want.
There's precedence. There is precedence now for you, no question about it. And he is a terrific player, and so is Desmond Ridder. Just to obviously, you had more players taken, but I'm kind of highlighting those two because you've got the first player taken. He's in New York City, and then the other one's a quarterback. Have you connected with Desmond at all during his process of getting set to be an Atlanta Falcon?
A little bit. Obviously, he just got married, I think, last week. I think a bunch of our guys were down there with him.
Okay.
He's been back and forth. He hasn't been back as much. Like Sauce was back about every weekend. So
really?
we would have high school camps on the field on Saturday, and you look up and there's Sauce coaching up the kids and out there with them, and then you got a recruiting weekend, and all of a sudden you say, "Hey, Sauce is in town," and it's like, he was around much more. Where I think Des maybe obviously with the quarterback situation and taking his family down there, I think he was a little bit more ingrained and stayed down in Atlanta. But I think all of those guys are. They do a great job at staying in communication, and are really proud of what they've created here. So they enjoy to reach out and to come back as much as they can already.
Coach, appreciate the time. What's on tap today? Snorkeling? What do we got? A spa treatment or two? What do we got? What do we got?
I don't know. Let me ask your wife how am I supposed to say this? Whatever she wants to do. I think is that the way I should put it?
Suzy?
Or phrase it?
Whatever you want to do, honey.
Whatever you want to do, honey. So whatever she wants to do is what's on tap. Hopefully that's nothing, but I'm gonna try my best to take the advice that I just got and see how it works for me. I'll let you know.
Yeah, let us know. Fill us in. We want to hear after the trip, was it successful?
I have a feeling
and why?
Coach, I have a feeling we've set you up for success. I have a feeling we've given you what you need. We've given you what you need.
Well, I do take coaching well, and I do need coaching, so I appreciate that.
We're team players, despite there being an I in Eisen. So thank you for the time, Coach. You be well. Enjoy the rest of your respite before getting into it. Let's do this again soon.
I appreciate it.
You got it.
Thanks for having me.
You got it. The great Luke Fickell. Love chatting with the Cincinnati Bearcat head coach right here on the Rich Eisen Show. Suze, I think we have helped.